Begin with breaking news right now. A live look at the White House. President Joe Biden set to host a meeting there this afternoon. This on not only Hurricane Idalia, but the Maui wildfire, the deadly wildfire there, the response and recovery efforts as well. Coming as the Biden administration announcing today it will spend $95 million to help strengthen Hawaii's electrical grid in the wake of those deadly wildfires happening earlier this month.
Those fast-moving fires were the deadliest in modern U.S. history, killing more than 100 people on the island. Crews are nearly finished with their search, with hundreds still unaccounted for. First responders now switching their focus to removing hazardous waste so residents can return. The Environmental Protection Agency says this could take several months. In the meantime, the president will also be addressing his administration's ongoing response to Hurricane Idalia. What appears to be an increase in the frequency of major natural disasters, leaving the government's disaster relief fund in the red. And while the feds are asking for more FEMA money, the president is reportedly attaching the measure to a request for funding for Ukraine.
Newsmax Chief White House correspondent James Rosen has more, joining us now from the North Lawn. Good morning, James.
Sean and Emma, good morning to you. The White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, declined yesterday to address this very question of why the president is pairing his request for additional funding for FEMA, uncontroversial among lawmakers, to a request for additional security funding for Ukraine, which faces some resistance on Capitol Hill. And she declined to address the question both in yesterday's White House press briefing and in an interview she granted shortly thereafter to CNN.
Both of those things are incredibly important. I'm not going to get into hypotheticals of what it looks like if Congress comes back and wants to split the two. These are incredibly important, not just for the president, for the American people, right? We have to keep our commitments on both sides of these things.
Jean-Pierre also addressed growing concerns in and beyond the Democratic Party about her boss's age. 77% of voting age adults said in the latest Associated Press National Opinion Research Center poll that Mr. Biden is too old for the second term he is seeking, a view shared by 69% of Democrats.
People have come after the president about his age. They did it in 2019. They did it in 2020 leading into the general election. And they did it in 2022. And guess what? He beats them every time because he has his finger on the pulse on what it is that the American people need.
President Biden has canceled a trip that was scheduled for tomorrow to Philadelphia. No purpose was ever divulged by the White House for what that trip was going to be. A speculation, clearly labeled as such in these quarters, is that it was going to be a political event and that the White House thought better of that with the approach of Hurricane Idalia. They want to appear focused on that crisis as it hits landfall in Florida today. To that end, the president will be speaking about Hurricane Idalia and also about the Maui wildfires a little over 2.5 hours from now in the Roosevelt Room. Sean and Emma.
All right, we'll be watching for it. James Rosen, thank you very much. And again, in case you missed it, the hurricane made landfall in Florida as a Category 3 hurricane as we take a live look here in Tampa, Florida. Again, it has since been downgraded, but Idalia taking aim at the Big Bend region with potentially catastrophic storm surge. The National Weather Service calling it, quote, an unprecedented event. It's because there's been really no major hurricanes to ever pass through the Big Bend region. Florida residents in the area were told to evacuate. Governor Ron DeSantis providing an update earlier this morning.
The National Hurricane Center expects storm surge to reach up to 16 feet in some areas of the Big Bend region. That level of storm surge is life-threatening. We have already had 11 tornado warnings, and there are more tornadoes possible. Do not go outside in the midst of this storm. If it's calm where you are, it may be because you are in the eye of the storm, and those conditions will change very, very quickly.
Now, that's applicable, obviously, for this storm, the hurricane, which is continuing. It is a hurricane right now, and it is moving up towards Georgia, obviously, and South Carolina. So you want to be extra cautious. Listen to, again, your local news outlets, which will have the best information for you in terms of what to do. Obviously, many school districts are closed today in these areas. Airports are closed as well in those areas. There are thousands of utility workers right now. They are making repairs to electrical wires. At one point, there were 200,000 people, or customers rather, without power. Could be more at this time. But it's one of those where you have to wait and see, and you watch this storm, you ride this one out. The big concern here, again, the storm surge, again, we'll continue to monitor Idalia.